So control is basically take control, and the word control in there is aligns with 7 pillars. I'll talk about each of them individually. C in control stands for clear goals. And I've always been a very goal oriented person, but the clarity in the goals has changed over the years significantly. And I'll tell you what I mean by that, because years ago, my goals would involve certain number of cases, certain number of policies sold, certain amount of commissions earned. Whereas today, the clarity in my goals have to do with all of what I've just said. The commissions are important, the number of cases, because we can't live on love and fresh air. But that not on its own, but alongside my life goals, which is time spent with the family, time spent traveling, time spent, being an active father, being a mentor, being a motivator, being with my dogs, pursuing things that actually feed my soul as well. So clarity in my goals today has changed significantly, and it's come from that experience of being completely one-sided with my goal sharing process. So I'd say C in control is for clear goals, and just aligning the personal element of it with the business element of it is the critical element over here. The second letter in the word control stands for ownership. And ownership is important because it's not something that comes naturally to people. When you think about ownership, you're usually thinking about material things that you may own: a car, a watch, a painting, a house. Ownership, though, in terms of mindset and attitude and actions, is what I'm really talking about. Because if you give that up, then you can always find somebody else to place the blame onto. For instance, it's common in our industry to say, hey, you know what? The products and services that we offer through our insurance company, through our brokerage partners, are not great, and that's why I cannot close the right amount of business. The economy is really bad, and that's why I cannot close the right amount of business. You can always find somebody else to place that blame onto. Ownership is basically reversing that script completely, that narrative completely, right? And rather than saying, hey, the products and services I have to offer are really not that great, and that's why I can't find the right clients. So the question, or the ownership question, is what is preventing me from going and seeking out the right products for my clients, or seeking the right clients for the products I currently have, right? The market's bad, the economy is really bad, and that's why people are not purchasing from me. Again, I've heard this happen time and again before. And I remember in 2008 and 2009, when we went through the global financial crisis, our first few big years in the business took place then. Because what we decided to do is we decided to block out the noise, not expose ourselves to the news, right? Use only a pull medium of information and news, and exit ourselves from all negative conversations. And the ownership over there is owning our energy. And then having conversations with individuals, because there are individuals who exist who are still positive about the outlook on life, even in a market downturn. So ownership would mean getting rid of the individuals or the situations that you can place a blame on and say, hey, this isn't my problem. This is just the way the world is. The N in control stands for numbers. And yes, we're in the financial services business. We're in the life insurance business. You would think that numbers is something that we are just keenly attached to. We understand it, we monitor it, we chase it. It may be true to some extent, but I wonder how many individuals are actually very clear on their own internal numbers. What is the actual data that you have that ensures that you are breaking ground every single year on a regular basis and making it a habit, making it a system to improve compared to the year before? I've met too many people in our business who've been around for 15, 20, 25 years, and if you ask them to track their growth, they will tell you, yes, I've grown from the previous year, or I've not from the previous year. And if you look at the difference in the answers and you ask them to tell you the reasons why, there is no clarity on it. The clarity may be missing because they might be able to tell you the commissions earned, the number of cases sold. But how many people are actually tracking the number of hours spent on a type of transaction? Does that transaction still make sense in today's expensive, changing economy? Do you choose to work with the client because you've always worked with the same type of a client before because it's comfortable? Or do you choose to work with a client because in today's day and age, it is now profitable to work with individuals like this versus if you chose to work with the individuals from the past, this would be completely out of your space of profitability. And by this, I mean, imagine an advisor who's been in the business for 25 years, working with the same client or the same type of client that he worked on 2 years into the business. In 25 years, the experience that you have garnered, the strength, the resourcefulness, but you're still spending time solving those small problems for clients for whom a 2-year-old advisor would be able to help. Are you tracking those metrics? Are you tracking those numbers? Not just the commissions, not just the number of transactions, but are you digging deeper and peeling those layers and tracking the rest of the numbers that make your business profitable? T in control stands for tactics. And what I want to say over here to this is it has changed significantly over the last 25 years. If you asked me about 25 years ago how we continued to work in the business, my average day, one of the 6 working days, would be filled with appointments with clients, trying to close business, getting on the phone, trying to secure appointments, doing all the application forms, filling out forms, maybe attending clients' medical checkups, just working on their illustrations, putting together the proposal for them. All of this would happen in the same day. If I compare that to, let's say, 15 years ago when we went down the path of being tactically clear about our strategy and working with companies like Strategic Coach, for instance, we started to implement the entrepreneurial time management system. And this means my week today is broken up into focus days, buffer days, and free days. And focus days are the days which is driven towards earning commissions and revenues only. So if you look at a typical focus day for me today, it only involves me meeting new clients, existing clients, and introducers. I don't do anything else on those days. I don't fill out application forms. I never fill out applications forms at all anymore. I don't do client medicals. I don't do anything that does not involve us earning a commission. Whereas my buffer days are the days where I spend time with the team. We talk about delegation. Any internal meetings that need to take place takes place on those days. And free days are days which are completely marked out for time with my family and myself, which means we interact in zero business activities on those days. And that's a tactic. That's a choice. We chose to do that over the years. There are a couple of things that happened along the way. One is choosing to work in my lane as an advisor only versus also trying to build a team. The point I'm trying to make is over the course of your career in the life insurance business as a financial advisor, things change on a regular basis. But if you don't pay attention to the tactics that you used in the previous year, then it's unlikely that you will be in a position to hit your new goal. As a firm, as a business, we have a process of identifying what worked and didn't work for us the year before on a regular basis. And what we also do is to set ourselves up for the next year. We look at what the new goals look like and whether we require to change any of our tactics or our skills to upgrade ourselves to be able to hit those goals. So I'd say paying attention to that T is very critical. It can be the difference between immensely successful year and a completely underachieved year. The R in control is my favorite part of this. The R in control stands for right fit clients. And I have so many stories that I can share, but one that comes to mind begins with my daughter being born. So Leah was born in 2011, and a couple of months after she was born, we decided to host a baptism party for her. And the baptism party had to be broken up into 2 groups. One group was friends and family, close friends and family, and the other group was the second party that we hosted for clients, business acquaintances, people that have known me for the years. And when we decided to go down that path for the second party, I found myself in a place of absolute lack of energy and enthusiasm. And this resulted from the fact that a lot of people that were now coming to this party were people that in reality I did not want in my house. But because they were business associates, because they were clients, because they were introducers, we had to call them in. And that year, we made a decision at the end of this party not to work with any individual as a client if I wouldn't want to invite them home to my house for a meal. That was one of our definitions of our right fit client. Over the years, we added so many other layers to a right fit client definition, but I think it is important and critical for you as an advisor, as a client, as an advisor, to know exactly who it is you want to deal with. Which individual or what types of individuals are energy takers, and which types of individuals give you immense energy and you want to show up for no matter what time of the day or night. And this is a critical element of it. I think identifying and redefining who your right fit client is critical in our business. The second O in the control framework stands for obsession. And this word, unfortunately, has got a lot of bad rap over the years. But I will say this, when I first decided to run across the Sahara Desert, what kept me going is a book that I heard. It was my first audiobook, and it was a book called Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. And I loved the fact that he described obsession in a positive way. The reality of it is we can be obsessed with so many different things in our lives, and some of it could be healthy and some of it could be unhealthy. I'm going to let you use your own thought process on what you think is healthy obsession and what isn't. In my own life, 12 years ago, I was morbidly obese. And people said I was obsessed with food. And it was true, I was. Today, if you ask my spouse, my wife, Sangeeta, this, and she'll tell you that Rickson is obsessed with health and fitness. They're both obsessions. One is healthy and the other one was not. I chose to go down the other path. When it comes to the life insurance business, when it comes to you playing your role as a financial advisor in this space, obsession could mean so many different things. My question to you is, are you obsessed enough to want to hit your goals? Once you've gone through that process of clarifying your goals, figuring out the ownership stuff, the tactics, the numbers, the right fit clients, do you have the endurance to see it through? Because this means showing up every single day, regardless of the outcome, because that's not in your control. But being able to show up every single day repeatedly, doing the simple things may not be the easiest. But are you in a position to do that? And if the answer is yes, the probability of you attaining that success is greater. The letter L in the word control now finally stands for life. And I think this is critical because this is what differentiates whether success is on your terms or on terms that are handed out to you by the world at large. If you ask me today, accomplishing top of the table and hitting those numbers 5, 10 times over by living the life of the old Rickson, which was unhealthy, I had acid reflux, I lost my voice, I didn't show up for my daughter, I didn't show up for my wife, I was just focused on earning the commission and making it work. If you said, Rickson, you can go back to that life and make 10, 20 times more commissions than you're doing right now, is this your definition of success? And my answer to that would be no. So defining your terms for your success is critical. What are the other things in your life that are important to you? Is health and fitness one of them? Is spirituality one of them? Is giving back in some form or way one of them? Is working with the absolute people that energize you one of them? Can success be on your terms? And this is what the L in control stands for. It's life. What are the other elements of your life that make up your success? Can business just be a part of it?